Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel My School Book. The poem for today is The Princess and the Gypsies. I shall be reciting it first and then we will go into much detail about each stanza. This poem is written by Francis Cornford. The Princess and the Gypsies. As I looked out one May morning, I saw the treetops green. I said, my crown I will lay down and live no more a queen. Then I tripped down my golden steps, dressed in my silken gown. And when I stood in the open wood, I met some gypsies brown. Oh, gentle, gentle gypsies that roam the wide world through, because I hate my crown and state, oh, let me come with you. My councillors are old and grey and sit in narrow chairs, but you can hear the birds sing clear, and your hearts are as light as theirs. If you would come along with us, then you must count the cost, for though in spring the sweet birds sing, in winter comes the frost. Your ladies serve you all the day with courtesy and care. Your fine shod feet, they tread so neat, but a gypsy's feet go bare. You wash in water running warm, through basins all of gold. The streams where we roam have silvery foam, but the streams are cold. And barley bread is bitter to taste, whilst sugary cakes they please. Which will you choose? Oh, which will you choose? Which will you choose of these? For if you choose the mountain streams and barley bread to eat, your heart will be as free as the birds in the tree, but the stones will cut your feet. The mud will spoil your silken gown and stain your insteps high. The dogs in the farm will wish you harm and bark as you go by. And though your heart grow deep and gay, and your heart grow wise and rich, the cold will make your bones to ache, and you will die in a ditch. O gentle, gentle gypsies that roam the wide world through, although I praise your wandering ways, I dare not come with you. I hung about their fingers brown my ruby rings and chain, and with my head as heavy as lead, I turned me back again. As I went up the palace steps, I heard the gypsies laugh. The birds of spring so sweet did sing. My heart, it broke in half. Thank you. Now let us quickly move on to the poem in detail. The title, if you see, is The Princess and the Gypsies. The poem is about a princess and a few gypsies. And gypsies are actually people who have a life which is of the wandering type, and it is not permanent. They stay in these temporary houses, maybe like a tent or something, then they keep on moving. So maybe they'll go near a river, they'll stay there for a few days, and then they get bored, or maybe people just tell them to leave from there. So they pick up all their stuff, and again they move and walk and move on to a new place. Maybe go near the mountains, or again walk for a few miles and move to another place. So these type of people are called as gypsies, and their life is very different from what we have. Okay, they keep on moving, so they get to see new places. They don't have those rules like how we have in our houses. They are free to move here and there. They can have a life where they can even go without having a bath, or maybe not washing their feet and all. So that type of a life was there. And if you see a princess's life, she is a very important person in the palace. So everyone looks at her. So she has to keep herself in a particular way. So this princess was looking out of the window. If you look at the first stanza here, as I looked out one May morning, I saw the treetops green. I said, my crown I will lay down and live no more a queen. Now in this stanza, the princess was looking out of her window, and it was a May morning. That means a nice summer morning, and there were green treetops. And she said to herself that I will lay down this crown, and live no more a queen, because she was getting really bored and tired of just staying over there and, be in the palace. And that life was becoming very boring for her. Now, it's like the example can be that suppose if someone gives us pizza to eat for a day or two, pizza, we'll have fun. But imagine eating it for maybe like a week. Then even after that being our favorite pizza, we will start getting bored of it. We will, feel like, no, I want my mummy's food now. Maybe normal rice and dal, lentils and all that, or maybe a vegetable. So that is the type of, that is the feeling. Even if something is good, but if you have it for a very long time, it becomes boring. So that had happened with her. She had got tired of, living in that palace and all. Now let us move on to the next stanza. Then I tripped down my golden steps, dressed in my silken gown, and when I stood in the open wood, I met some gypsies brown. Now it is written that she came down her golden steps. That means the steps were very beautiful, decorated ones. And she was dressed in her silken gown. Now silken means something which is made of pure silk. Very shiny, very soft. And then she came into the open wood. Now a wood is a jungle or a forest, but a smaller one. And there are no wild animals in it. Mostly trees are there. Okay, so that type of a forest is called as a wood. So she stood over there and she met some gypsies. Now if you look at the last line in the stanza, it is called that it is written brown. Now if you see, these type of words are no more in use now. Okay, these words are, they can be offensive, and you can call them as racist words in today's generation. Because you can't call anyone white, black or whatever. It is offensive, and it is like a very bad thing. But in these poems are very old ones. So at that time the poet would write that way. But in today's world, you are not supposed to call anyone by the color of the skin. That is very disrespectful. So she met these people, and these gypsies had become a little tanned, little brownish. Why? Because they used to roam out in the sun. So their skin had become tanned. Okay. Now let's move on to the third stanza here. Oh, gentle, gentle gypsies that roam the wide world through, because I hate my crown and state, oh, let me come with you. Now in this stanza, the princess started talking to the gypsies, and she said that gentle gypsies, you roam the whole wide world. You are free. So you can just go here and there. And I hate my crown and state. State means the kingdom where she lives. She said, I just don't like this place. Let me come with you. Now the next stanza, she says that my councillors are old and grey and sit in narrow chairs. But you can hear the birds sing clear, and your hearts are as light as theirs. Now the reason why she's getting so fed up in that palace is that she has these councillors which are very old and grey. Now, councillors are people who form like a council, or like, people who help us in taking decisions. Now, if you look at pictures, in courts where people sit, there are people who help in taking judgments, or people who help in giving some advice legally or whatever. So she also had these people who would help her to take decisions and keep on guiding her, do this, do that. And they were very old, and maybe she did not like the way they would talk or the way they gave her advice. So she was really bored because of that. And these people, these councillors, would sit in narrow chairs. But she said, look at you. you can hear the birds, you are free. You can just go wherever you want, and your hearts are as light as theirs. Now, when we say that the heart is light, it means the person is happy. Now, what happens, see, when we are sad, we feel as if our body and our heart has become heavy. We can't move easily. We feel like just sitting in one chair and maybe with a sad face like this. So she said that your hearts are light, because you all are happy, because you'll keep on moving outside. You'll see nature, you can hear the birds singing and all that. But I have to just sit over here listening to what the counselors are saying. Now, next stanza. If you could come along with us, then you must count the cost. For though in spring the sweet birds sing, in winter comes the frost. Now the gypsies are saying that if you want, you can definitely come with us, but you will have to pay the cost for it. And the cost is not like they want some money or fees out of it, but they were trying to tell her that, see, if you are going to come with us, we have a certain type of life, our lifestyle is different. Now they said that suppose if you come with us, the spring is there are sweet birds which are singing, but you have to remember that if the spring comes beautifully with singing birds and all, there is also the winter that comes along with the frost, along with the that chilly wind and the snow and that low temperature. So there will be a lot of frost. So you are supposed to remember this also. Then in the next stanza, they tell her that your ladies, that means the servants that she has, they serve you all day with courtesy and care. That means they work for you, they care for you, that too with courtesy, with so much respect and politeness. They work for you. Your fine shod feet, they tread so neat. And they said, just look at your feet. They're so beautifully kept, And these ladies who work, maybe they do her pedicure or they scrub her feet, they massage it, and they've kept it so nice and neat. But they say if you look at a gypsy's feet, they go bare. Bare means they don't have any footwear to wear. They have to walk on barefoot. And then the next stanza is that you wash in water running warm. And that too how? Through basins all of gold. Now they say that when you use water to wash your hands or wash your face, you have warm water. And that too it comes through basins which are made of gold. That means very beautiful basins and beautiful expensive taps and all that. And you have water which is warm, the temperature is so nice. But if you come with us, the streams where we roam, so when they move here and there are beautiful streams. They have silvery foam, as if the silver, and foam means those bubbles which form on the water. So there's beautiful silvery foam, but the streams are cold. The streams are cold. You should remember that. And that water will not be that beautiful warm water. You will touch it and you'll start, oh my God, what is this? So then you will understand they're saying, that it's very different over there. Now the next stanza, and barley bread is bitter to taste, whilst sugary cakes they please. Which will you choose? Oh, which will you choose? Which will you choose of these? Now they are trying to tell her that these are not only related to the seasons, it's also about the food. Because when you come with us, you will have to come and eat barley bread. And barley bread is something which is bitter to taste. Whilst. Now, whilst is an old English word. It is, it was used mostly in these poems and all in the olden days. It means that whereas means, at the same time. And they're saying that what do you like? What do normal people like? Sugary cakes, cakes which are with sugar and all these things. But what you will have to eat is barley bread, and that is bitter. Now, they're saying, which will you choose? Can you decide? Now the next stanza it is written, for if you choose the mountain streams and barley bread to eat. Now they're telling us, suppose if you choose to come with us, that means you have chosen the mountain streams and the barley bread. Okay, now that is what you've chosen. So what will happen? You will come with us, your heart will become free as the birds in the tree. But the stones will cut your feet. So they're saying your heart will become nice and free. You'll enjoy running here and there and the birds and all in the tree. But your feet will start cutting because you will not have any footwear to wear. Now the next stanza is that the mud will spoil your silken gown and stain your insteps high. Now there's one more problem. They said you are wearing such beautiful silken gown. Now if you come with us, all that mud will come and spoil your silken gown. And insteps high. Now insteps is actually the inner, the inner surface of the foot, which is there, the slightly, the dome shaped thing which is there in under our foot. But you can also use it for those inner layers of the gown of girls, okay? They have those layers in a gown. If you look at a gown, it has like 4 or 5 layers. So the inner layers, that also can be called as insteps. So that can get stained, okay? And the dogs in the farm will wish you harm and bark as you go by. Now they're saying that when you go out, dogs will just look at you and start barking. Maybe they will want to even bite you. And now the next stanza, and though your heart grow deep and gay, your heart grow wise and rich, the cold will make your bones to ache and you will die in a ditch. That means they're saying that though you will enjoy, your heart will be light, you will start enjoying yourself and your heart will become deep. You will get the meaning of life, and gay, that means very happy from inside, which is not there in the palace. She was not feeling that happiness from inside in the palace. So they said, when you come with us, your heart will become nice. You will start feeling that happiness from inside. You will become wiser. That means you will get more knowledge. But there will be cold, and that will make your bones to ache. That means to pain. And you will die in a ditch. And sometimes if a person dies, a gypsy, they die just in a ditch, maybe in a hole somewhere. So there's no special function for them or anything like that. Now the princess started thinking over this, like, do you think she'll be ready to face so many difficulties together? It's not an easy thing. So now she is going to reply to them, and just check the reply. O gentle, gentle gypsies that roam the wide world through, although I praise your wandering ways, I dare not come with you. Now she is saying, see, I praise your ways, the way you wander here and there, but I am not going to come with you. She really got scared. I hung about their fingers brown, my ruby rings and chain, and with my head as heavy as lead, I turned me back again. Now what she is saying, that she said, that, oh gentle gypsies, you all roam the wide world through. I praise the way you stay, but I will not be able to come with you. Then what did she do? She took her ruby rings and chain, she gave it to them, and she turned her head. But her head had become as heavy as lead. That means it had become very heavy, she had become sad. She did not like the things that she heard. As I went up, now this is the last stanza. As I went up the palace steps, I heard the gypsies laugh. The birds of spring so sweet did sing. My heart, it broke in half. Now here what happens? She told them that I'm not going to come with you all, I will not be able to come with you. I dare not come with you. And then she gave them her ruby rings and a chain, and she turned. But her head had become very heavy because of the sadness. She did not like that, that how come the life was so difficult. And then she was like, inside she was thinking, that is it possible for me to face these difficulties which they are counting? There's a list. Seasons and foot, her feet, and then that food and all that. And then the dogs will bark, and, she started thinking that there's a long list. I will not be able to cope with all this. So she cannot go. But then she heard that the gypsies were laughing. And the bird was actually singing very sweetly. And then she started thinking that maybe, they were making a fool out of her or just making fun of her. that see how she got scared when she, we told her about the difficulties, and she felt really bad and her heart broke into half. She felt very sad that she could not go with them because she was so used to this luxurious life of the palace that it was impossible for her to go and face all these difficulties which the gypsies were facing. I hope you have understood the poem, and the difficult words and the question answers will be given at the end of the video and also in the description box. If you like my work, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and do like my page on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. God bless you.